Hey guys, David Clayton here with GuitarBreakdown.com, and the end of the year is rapidly approaching. We are deep into the holiday season, and we're trying to wrap up these YouTube lessons for the rest of the year. We've got a lot of Scott Henderson, Michael Brecker, Coltrane stuff that we're going to try and pop out starting this week, at least once a week, if not twice a week for you. So you have a bunch of stuff to do on your holiday break. Now, we have been wrapping up a bunch of lesson packages. We just finished Josh Smith, his second lesson package, and we have 2 Alan Hines lesson packages we're trying to get out the door in his masterclass series. So we'll have a total of 3 of those by Christmas. So check all those links down below if you are interested in that. But this lesson we're going to do here is based on, I have a whole bunch of stuff on my hard drive, and I don't know, like the rest of us, we find all this stuff on our hard drive and we forget where we got it from. But this is a live recording of Scott playing, I think it's at GIT back in the 80s when he was doing a lot more teaching at GIT. He's just playing a tune called Footprints, but his phrasing in this is just unbelievable, and he does a bunch of little chromatic ideas and stuff, and we're going to go over 1 or 2 of those ideas here. Again, it's more about, you'll learn a little lick, but you'll also learn the concept of what's going on so you can start experimenting with this yourself. So I hope you guys really enjoy this. If you want the tab, I'm going to try and make that available. It may take a minute to get all tabbed out and, you know, in a PDF doc for you, but go below in the description and you'll see a link to where you can grab that. If you guys like this, please do thumbs up and share this video and all the good stuff. It really helps us out. Otherwise, let's get to the lesson. Also, if any of you aren't familiar with Scott Henderson, which I'm sure most of you watching this are, but if you're not, check the link in the description below for his website. He's one of the most amazing guitar players. He's my favorite guitar player. I mean, there's a whole bunch of guys that I say are some of my favorite guitar players, and they are. There's so many amazing, talented players out there today. But Scott, to me, he just catches my ear. Everything he does, his phrasing, the way he offsets rhythms from his blues, the mixing of blues to jazz in this fusion realm. He's just a master. He's absolutely amazing, and his tunes are catchy to me. I never get tired of listening to him. Anyway, check the link below. If you're not familiar with his stuff, grab as much of it as you can. He's got a new CD coming out soon, and we're hoping actually to get him in here to do, we talked to him at the very beginning of the year, and we're hoping to get him to do some stuff with us. But he's just a genius. So if you like this and if you trust what I have to say, go over there, buy anything. Just pick anything from his Tribal Tech stuff to his solo stuff, his blues stuff, Dog Party, his live CD. He's got a HBC CD out. Just check it all out. It's amazing. And he's an amazing teacher too, and I think he has lesson stuff on his site. So check all that out, and let's get back to this lesson stuff. All right, so as we said in the beginning of this is based on a tune called Footprints. It's a standard in the real book. It's one of those tunes you should learn if you want to jam with people because it's really simple. It has a great melody, has really simple chord changes, and it's just real easy to play over. This is basically in the key of C minor. It's usually a 3/4 feel, and it's usually written out that way. Sometimes people feel it as a 4/4, but it's in C minor, plays C minor 7. That's the 1 chord. The 4 chord is an F minor 7, right? Goes back to C minor. Then it does this thing where it goes to D7, to D flat 7, to C minor. So it's a half step from D, D flat to C, right? Now, real quickly, just what that is it's basically doing, and we're not going to get too far into this, but it's a 2-5-1. So it's doing D, which is the 2 of C, to G, right? Back to C. So that's 2-5-1. But instead of doing that 5, it it's substituting, it's doing a tritone substitution of a D flat 7, which we can get into that if anybody's interested. Let me know and we can get into that kind of stuff. But it's basically those two chords are really closely related. A G7, especially a G7 flat 9, and a D flat 7. Okay, so it's just really basically a 1-4-2-5-1 progression. Now, the thing that he does in this solo, which is really cool, is he starts out with some really cool phrasing. He goes, right? And those are just really nice arpeggios. And again, the tab, hopefully I'll supply, but we'll go through this real quick. It's the 13th fret on the B string. Then he hammers on 13 to 15 on the E string. Then he just bars the 13th fret and goes back and forth on the B and E string. Then he goes 13th fret on the B, E string, then 11th fret on the E and B string, and then the G string 12th fret. So he basically comes down what looks like a E flat major arpeggio. Then he comes down what looks like kind of like a sus chord, like a G sus. You have the 10th fret on the E string, 10th fret on the B string, and then the 12th fret on the G string. And then you just have to work out that phrasing, but it's really, really cool. And he slides into that last arpeggio. Then he does this cool little, just a 4-note chromaticism from the 13, 12, 11, and 10 on the B string. Then he pivots off the G string on the 12th fret and goes to the 9th fret of the B string. So really it's a chromatic lick going from 13, 12, 11, 10, 9. But he throws in the G string in the middle of that. Right? And it's not, it's kind of really nicely rhythmically done. Instead of, it's not just real quick. So really practice with doing. And then he walks down this arpeggio from the 9th fret of the B and G string to the 11th fret of the D string and the 13th fret of the A string. Now that can be looked at a bunch of different ways. I tend to look at that as a minor 7 flat 5 arpeggio based on a B minor 7 flat 5. Right? And then he just walks up some scale tones, and again, once I get the transcription, I'm not going to bore you with that, but then he just starts doing some phrasing with a couple more notes within the scale. Right? Now, this is what I wanted to get to. That's why I'm kind of rushing through all this. The cool part about this, I thought, was he does this arpeggio into this chromatic idea that is over that 5 chord. That 2-5-1 progression. Right? He gets into this chromatic thing, and we'll get into that in a minute.